welcome to another live stream. I'm Life Coach Rav, sipping on my coffee. Just going to straighten up my camera setup. Make sure we're all aligned up. All right, bless. Should be good. Good evening from wherever you are. I'm going to test my live stream and make sure we're up and running. I'm going to talk all about taking responsibility of your life. Okay, cool. Lovely. So I want to break apart the difference between blaming and actually taking accountability, responsibility, and talk through some practical diagrams and things and just some mentality type stuff that can really help break apart how we can get some control of our life. So I'll bring up what I'm going to talk through here, and I foresee it taking about 20-25 minutes. Do some Q&A at the end, so that will depend on how long. So we're going to talk about blame, fault versus responsibility, and the difference between the two and how we can bring that back to ourselves, overwhelm, burnout, I am model, which stands for the individual attribute model, so I am model, and go into a Q&A. So that is what the next 20 minutes will look like. I am Life Coach Rav, and I am not just another life coach. I'm a practitioner and student of life, so I don't just talk about this stuff. I apply it to my life and share with others how it's helped me and how it can help you using templates, practical tools, and my life experience. So I've had no responsibility and complete freedom, which is one end of the scale. I've also had and struggled with too much responsibility, which has led me to burnout. And I'll be talking about that later. But working full time, being a parent, a present parent, emotionally stable, parent of 2 kids, looking after a 9-year-old dog, working out regularly, cooking healthy food, working out regularly, and being there for my wife, keeping on top of housework. It's not easy. It's just not easy. It's tough. And if you've struggled with any of these things, sometimes that can feel like it's too much. It can be an overwhelming feeling and lead to burnout. One way to help is with gratitude. And rather than saying, I have to work, I'm privileged to be able to work. Rather than saying, oh, I have to be with them, my kids, what a blessing that I have kids to look after. And for years as a child, I've wanted a dog, so I get that. So it's taking the gratitude from I have to I get to. I'm privileged and I'm blessed to have these opportunities that some people wish they had. And it won't get easier. My mentality is that I will get stronger. You will get stronger. So if you are in a place of you want more responsibility, then there are things that we can do, that you can do to commit yourself to getting more responsibility. And if there's too much responsibility, there are steps that you can take to take a few steps back, actually, manage those responsibilities, and you can feel like you're on top of those things. The first thing I want to pull up is a diagram which can help you avoid blaming, because that's what I find a lot of people do. They will, and you might make excuses for things that are preventing you from being the best version of yourself. You didn't do this because of, you're not there because of, and that can be a piece which links to this. What are you concerned about that you can do nothing about? And what's within your circle of control? Those two references can really help, because if you're blaming something that you can do nothing about, I'm blaming someone else, you're putting the control out of your position. And what that can mean is when you want to do something about it, you don't have the ownership, you don't have the accountability, because you are blaming something that's outside of you. If you blame, for example, the weather, that's in my circle of concern because I'm worried about the weather. I'm concerned I need to plan for the weather. but it's not within my circle of control. So rather than blame the weather for not doing something, I can account for the weather. So I can't control if it's raining, but I can get an umbrella. Shifting the blame from outside of things that are within your control to things that you can do something about, especially other people. If we start blaming other people, what that can easily do is put us in a state of, well, I can't do anything about it. Well, actually, you can. What can you do about it is what we can look at. So stop blaming others, situations, and things that are out of your control. Stop pointing fingers at an excuse, because an excuse, as much as it's true and it's valid and you might believe it, it's still a reason why you didn't do the thing that you said you would do and you promised yourself. And I want you to stop living in the past. Yeah, things might have happened and they might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. And that's a great quote, which is, it may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. So where you are now could be a result of external conditions, and it's probably a combination of a lot of things. So it may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. And we absolutely, by taking that responsibility and ownership, can do something about it. That's, a massive shift of thinking where actually what we can start to do is take responsibility, be accountable for stuff that we can do ourselves, and trust yourself. Like, nobody is going to look after your health more than you. Nobody is going to come and save us. And that was very scary for me to think about and consider, but it was also empowering, because as much as I can say, you're where you are because of you, you can go anywhere because of you. You can take it to infinity and beyond. You can do as much as you want because you're in control. You are responsible. That's what it's about. So I don't want you to be blaming anything outside of your circle of control. And saying it's that fault, it's this person's fault, it's because of this. That's an excuse. I want us to take responsibility, even if it might not be your fault. Because pointing the finger and saying, oh, it's because of this, it's not resulting in any solutions. All it's doing is highlighting the problem. And part of that can lead to, get some music up in here if I can. Did that work? Let me see if it will work. A bit loud. All right. Yeah, that can work. It can lead to feeling overwhelmed. If I can get that straight. And if you've ever felt overwhelmed, these are a few signs and signals that can just let me go. Oh, I got rid of it completely. Let's get the overwhelmed. All right. So overwhelmed and burnout are responses to how we might feel when we've got too much responsibility. Overwhelm means you've got so much to do, you don't know where to start. And that can put you in a position of procrastination. If you're not sure where to start, the first thing we can do if we're overwhelmed is use something called the Eisenhower matrix, or understand what your priorities are. What's the one thing you can do that's going to make the biggest difference? Temporarily reduce your responsibility, whatever that means. If that means taking a break from something, then by all means do that. One of the biggest things that has helped me in my journey to managing responsibility and that feeling of overwhelmness is asking for help. Getting somebody to just share a different perspective and talk through some of the stuff that I'm dealing with. 3 key things that you can do is simplify. What can you do to make your responsibilities easier? Automate and try and schedule stuff or make it reoccurring, and AI is a great tool for that. Speak to ChatGPT, find systematic ways, schedules, routines, and habits and things within your current environment to automate and outsource. That falls in line with asking for help, but outsourcing and finding ways that other people might be able to take on your responsibility. When it comes to overwhelmness, part of that and feeding into burnout as well is you can feel like you just need to do more, but you either don't know where to start or you're doing so much and you're still not making much progress. That feeling is what we want to tackle. And what I want to do is help you take control and manage your responsibilities with productivity, sustainability, and with a smile, right? With happiness. You want to manage the stuff and do as much as you can, but with joy and a spring in your step. And managing your overwhelmness can be done in a few ways here. So reducing responsibility, understanding what's first and putting a little hierarchy of that. The Eisenhower matrix is a great tool for that. I've talked about in another video. Asking for help, that is key to all of this, in recognizing actually, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to start. I've taken on too much. I need help. Can somebody please help me? And in most cases, and in my experience, when people have asked for help, and if you do ask for help, people will absolutely reach out and take that opportunity to help you. That is overwhelmness. Burnout is overwhelm is when you don't know where to start. You've got so much to do and you just don't know what to do first. Burnout is when you've got a lot of responsibility, you've got a lot to do, and you just don't know. You're just doing so much, but you still not feel like you're getting anywhere, and you're just always gassed out, you're tired. A feeling that if you might be able to resonate with, these are a few symptoms of burnout. So I'll just talk through this. It's easier to, let me move this. So doom scrolling to escape, falling behind on responsibilities, feeling detached from the world, feeling irritable over small things, existential dread about everyday tasks, feeling resentment when people rely on you, inability to dream about the future, inner pressure to keep it all together, chronic body tension that will not release. And burnout is when your battery's low. So rather than keep going, these are a few things that I suggest can help, that have helped me. Rest is the first thing that you need to do. And if you take a little bit of time, although it can seem counterproductive and counterintuitive, taking that rest can give you the mental clarity you need so that when you go again, you can go full speed ahead and you can go sustainably. Temporarily, again, reducing your responsibility. If you've got too much on, what can somebody else take off your plate? Or what can you drop off your responsibility short term that won't have a massive impact and too much detriment? Long term, slowing down, and that feeds into the second last point, intensity sprints. Slow. If you slow down, that can help you go for longer. You can run a marathon for 4 hours, but you can't sprint. You might have a lot on, which means that you need to have an intensity sprint, which basically means you need to do a lot in a short space of time, but you can't keep sprinting forever. So put a deadline on it. How long can you go at that pace for without burning out? Recognizing and asking for help again is key. Like, can somebody else help you with that? Do you need support with that? And long term, finding a sustainable routine. Like, what can you do to manage your responsibilities in the way you're doing it for as long as forever? How sustainable are your current practices? That's not always going to be the case. There's always peaks and troughs and ups and downs. You can have busy periods of life. You can have quiet periods of life, but how can you best manage that when it is busy, to go as fast as you can put a deadline on it so you know you've got that end point to look forward to, and then set a point of rest, recuperation, relaxation, and come back full force. The next point that I want to talk through is something that I've created, which is the individual attribute model. If he wants to go bigger, doesn't want to go bigger. No, I've gone bigger. Come on. Right, let me get rid of that. It's not getting rid of the... Right, it's up there small on the screen. But it doesn't want to go bigger. Let me try again. I think because... All right, there we go. Okay, so this is similar to the Wheel of Life, and this has helped me compartmentalize my responsibilities. Let me get some music on there. So this has helped me compartmentalize my responsibilities. This is typically how I segment life. Life's messy and there's lots of overlap. These are my 10 main responsibilities and things that I want to do. So if I have anything to do with family, whether that's my kids, my parents, external, extended family, then I will look at how I'm spending my time. Fun, am I socially doing what is going to give me that downtime and spending time with my friends? And am I giving back? Content creation, what am I putting towards content? And it's never fully balanced, right? But these are my responsibilities, and I check in with myself on a weekly basis. And what you can do is look at these to see what parts of your life are you neglecting? What can you put more energy into to help you feel like you're going to get the most out of what you feel you're not on top of? What is that area of life for you really excel in, that you really put a lot of time and energy into? That's where you can maybe double down on to make yourself feel like, do you know what? I want to spend all my time with my partner. So my relationship is going to take up a lot of time, which is going to sacrifice other things. And that's okay. If you spend a lot of time with family in your relationship, then expect not to spend as much time on maybe cleaning your house, on working out, unless you can find ways out to work out together and stitch that in. If you work a lot, that might sacrifice family time. So these are my responsibilities, and it's how I make sure I'm balancing as best I can amongst them. And then the last thing is a diagram of the burnout process. So let's put that right here. Perfect. Thriving is where we want to be. I imagine if you're watching this, you're at amber at the stressed or overwhelmed stage, maybe even one of the below feelings. If you are, what you can do is what I've talked about, which is recognizing that you're burnt out, asking for help, stopping if you can, slowing down if you can't completely stop, and then trying to find sustainability within your routine and within your pattern. But that's what it can look like in terms of if you don't get the help at the amber stages, as you get further down the burnout feeling, you can find it harder to get out, and there's more time and stages you need to get through to work through that. So essentially, take a break when you recognize you're running out of energy before you run out and it's too late. And the last thing I'm going to end with is, that's me. I am Life Coach Rav. Thank you for watching this if you have. I streamed this a little later than I aimed for. So I started streaming this at 10:30. I had it scheduled for 9:30 because of my responsibility. Essentially, what I want to do is help people find a way to become a better version of themselves, become a better version of yourself. So if you're struggling with not enough responsibility, something that can help you is committing yourself. whether it's to a friend, whether it's publicly, whether it's writing it down as a goal. But if you commit to things, that can help you rise to a challenge and give you responsibility to know that, look, you're committing to yourself that you're going to do this thing. Nobody is going to do it for you. And if you don't do it, fine. There's no difference to my life. I just want to help you strive and become the best version of who you can be, which is whatever you want to do. Writing that down has been a very powerful tool for me in terms of getting commitment and momentum towards more responsibility, but only holding myself accountable. So if I don't do it, I don't feel so bad. If you've got too much responsibility, then asking for help and finding ways to manage it, leveling up and slowly building through that to the point where you have people around you. You have the capacity and the productivity to handle those responsibilities, and you're layering up. You're not just taking it all on at once. Typically in life, what you'll find is children have no responsibility and adults have a lot. And it incrementally builds up from a relationship to work to family and then finances and then planning for the future, and then the responsibilities grow. You don't typically see those responsibilities reduce, as you get car, mortgage, all these things build up, and that becomes harder to manage, and it can really get on top of you emotionally. So if you're feeling any of these feelings, then I'm hoping what I've shared here can help in some way. If it does, bless. If not, this is something I'm building on, working on, and I've got to a place where I am able to, I work full time. I spend time with my wife. I spend time with my kids. I'm present with them. I work out regularly. I'm literally about to go to the gym. I create content regularly. I spend time with my extended family. I am comfortable with my social time. I eat healthy and I cook fresh. And all of these responsibilities, tidy the house. The reason that this stream was a bit late is because putting the kids to sleep, cleaning the house and getting everything ready and set up for this evening meant actually I'm balancing those responsibilities. But I feel like I can manage that in a sustainable way based on where I'm at. Got a special guest. One sec. Right. I am streaming to one person, which is me, just checking that it's working so nobody's watching this live. Nix. This is my dog, who I am also responsible for. Come on. I know. Jump up. You got this. Right. Come. This is Nika. He's my 9-year-old miniature Labradoodle who got freshly groomed today. Am I responsible for you? Yeah. But like I said, I'm blessed to have everything I do, and that reframe of I don't have to do this, I get to do this. It might not be my fault that certain things don't work out. It might not be your fault that you're in the situation you're in. But it's our responsibility to make the best of it, to really strive. And this is the life we have. This is the one life we have. Like, how do we make the most of it? What can we do to really expand on those opportunities? It's easier now to make it than ever because a lot of people are in a blame game and are somewhat lazy, I suppose. So you don't have to work too much harder than an average person to stand out. As well as most people are in that culture of blaming other people and saying, making excuses for stuff. If you can avoid doing that and take on the responsibility, then that can be the tweak and the little edge that can carry you further than everyone else around you, which can often mean you're the top of your field, your environment, and the people around you. And that's what I strive to do. Right, I've hit about 24 and a half minutes. There's no Q&A, so I look forward to the next live stream. But as my mentality, as my ethos is to help people however I can, keep turning up and be consistent, fail, but fail forward. This live stream is another notch in my experience, which I'll learn from. which I'll move forward from, which I'll take responsibility for, which I'll reflect on. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. A subscription to my YouTube channel helps. If you've made it 25 minutes into the video, that enough helps, because you've got through a lot of content. But as always, I hope life is working out for you. You can be grateful for the things you have. You can manage those responsibilities. Those feelings of overwhelmness and burnout aren't things that you're currently experiencing. If you aren't, blessed. If you're not, I hope some of what I've talked about helps manage that in some way. If you're still struggling with some of that, find a way to reach out to me. I'm available as I can be on most platforms. Hit up in the comment and I'll respond typically within 24 hours. I'm on Instagram, Life Coach Rav. I am Life Coach Rav on every platform pretty much. So for another day, for another stream, peace out. Bless. Say bye, Neeks. Right. I know. You can go to sleep. I'm gonna go gym. Bless. Right, let's stop this. Peace.